Chaim Goldberg was a Polish-Jewish artist, painter, sculptor, and engraver. He is known for being a chronicler of Jewish life in the small Polish village where he was born, Kazimierz Dolny in eastern Poland, and as a painter of Holocaust-era art, which to the artist was seen as an obligation and art with a sense of profound mission. Following World War II, he emigrated to Israel and later to the United States, where he died in 2004. Early life. Chaim Goldberg was born in a wooden clapboard house built by his father, a village cobbler. As a young boy of 6, he gravitated to creating little figurines carved from stones. Later he took up drawing and painting with basic shoemaker paints that he found at his father's workbench. He was the 9th child and the first boy after 8 girls. He grew up in a religious home in Kazimierz Dolny. He would observe and draw the beggars and klezmers who frequented his home as guests. His father would encourage the stays by letting it be known that the humble Goldberg home was open for those who could not pay for the night stay at any of the inns. They were surely welcome there. These characters became Chaim's early models. Discovery in AMP, the artist's first shtetl period. On a crisp day in the fall of 1931, Saul Silberstein, a student of Sigmund Freud who was doing postdoctorate work on his book, Jewish Village Mannerisms, came into the Goldberg cobbler workshop to have his shoes repaired. As he waited for his shoes, he noticed the numerous artworks that were attached to the wall with shoe nails and inquired who the artist was. Silberstein spent the entire night reviewing the young artist's work. In the morning they went by foot to Lublin, a distance of 26 miles, and Dr. Silberstein obtained the opinions of several respected individuals of the work by Chaim Goldberg. He then got him several small scholarships based on these letters of recommendation. This helped finance his early education at the Joseph Mefhofer School for Fine Arts in Krakow, from which he graduated in 1934. Dr. Silberstein was able to interest several other wealthy sponsors, such as the Honorable Felix Kronstein, a judge, and a newspaper publisher who supported the artist through his graduation from the Academy of Fine Arts in Warsaw. At 17, he was the youngest to be admitted and studied under the rector of the Academy and Professor Tadeusz Pruskowski, Kowalski, Vladislav Skocheles and Jan Gotard. The beauty of Kazimierz Dolny had long ago been discovered by artists who had flocked there in large numbers over the years. Between the First World War and the Second World War, Kazimierz Dolny became known as an art colony as well. Professor Tadeusz Pruskowski had built a summer studio in the mountains and attracted his students to come down and paint outdoors. Many of these artists, as well as older ones, painted the life they saw in the landscape. Chaim Goldberg became stimulated by this traffic of artists and began to do art as well. When he was discovered, he had not attended any school or private lessons. He watched what the other artists did and was encouraged to do the same. Set himself up with a homemade easel and paint outdoors. When he was discovered at the age of 14, his collection included landscapes as well as paintings of the vagabond types that frequented his home as guests. The war years 1939 to 1945. Chaim was conscripted into the Polish army in the fall of 1938. He was assigned to the artillery brigade that guarded Warsaw. After the Polish army surrendered to the Germans, he was taken into custody as a POW and held in a labor camp. He managed to escape and tried to rescue his parents and family, who would not believe that the Germans had any intention of hurting the Jews. He could not motivate them to flee with him. So Chaim, his future wife, her sister and the parents became exiles, escaping to Russia on foot. They kept moving north as the German armies advanced and ended up in Novosibirsk. Chaim married Rachel on April 15, 1944. They were able to return to Poland in 1946. Emigration. Chaim Goldberg received a fellowship from the Polish Ministry of Culture to study at the École des Beaux-Arts in Paris, and in 1949 they returned to Poland. He worked on various commissions for the Polish government, and in 1955 made an application to be allowed to immigrate to Israel. The Goldberg family arrived in Israel in 1955 and began a new life. They stayed in Israel until 1967, where Chaim exhibited and sold his work to American, Canadian tourists and Israeli collectors. Despite that TSF-80 was the art colony of record, Chaim Goldberg's presence in northern Tel Aviv became a well-known bit of art trivia to almost everyone, and his studio drew from the wealthier tourists who frequented Hotel Ramat Aviv, the artist's second shtetl period. Once ensconced in his large studio, Chaim Goldberg began to create large paintings that depicted Jewish life he remembered in his shtetl of Kazimierz Dolny. During this period of 1960 to 1966, he created some of his best-known paintings, such as The Wedding, The Shtetl, Simchat Torah, and Don't Forget. Modernism. Chaim Goldberg began to experiment with new shapes and mediums, such as wood carving and stone chiseling in Israel. In the year 1964, he began with abstract drawings of three-dimensional shapes floating and shooting into space. These darting and frequently marching shapes were influenced by the space race between the United States and Russia. He continued to develop his modernist side, despite his commitment to memorialize the life of the shtetl. It is a very rare to see this dichotomy between realism and making art for art's sake in abstract forms with any artist. He continued this dichotomy throughout the rest of his life by dividing his day into sessions in different parts of his studios. In 1970, after arriving in the United States, his drive to create art for art's sake turned to creating drawing, watercolors, oil paintings and sculptures based on his impressions of daily life. His response to the modern dwelling and to the masks people use when communicating with one another began to form a viable collections of an artist's inner thoughts and feelings. He foresaw the demise of the Soviet Union in 1973 and created a series of large drawings that depict the Soviet Empire as a clawed monster hanging on by the extreme ends of its fangs to a network of spiderweb-like formations meant to depict the deceptions and lies. His drawings of the modern ways are a documentation of how the artist felt and saw in his dreams the errors we humans commit towards one another. They are a great window into the feelings of a modern artist caught in the complicated city dwelling and seeing no hope for escape from the noise and pollution. The United States. In 1967, Goldberg arrived in the United States with a 2-year business visa on an exhibition tour and continued to paint and create line engravings of his village characters, as well as sculpt. His and subject matter widened while living in New York, which became one of his themes. Quote, he and his family decided to become citizens of the United States in 1973. I.B. Singer wrote in an introduction to an exhibit catalogue, Chaim Goldberg came from the shtetl and remembers its every detail. He is never abstract but is true to the objects and the divine order. His work is enriching Jewish art and the image of our tradition. Influences. Goldberg's Culture Shock series and other series based on real life and politics of the period, as were the works of the series The Mad Drivers. Quote, some of his work dealt with his own dream sequences, such as the violin thief sequence and the bird dream sequence. In 1974, Chaim attended a performance of the Emmett Kelly, Jr. circus, and began a series of drawings and other works on paper inspired by the circus theme. Then dance took center stage as his main subject. He also carved in wood. His body of work on the dance theme included paintings, watercolors, and sculpture carved in wood or made of aggregate concrete. Goldberg continued line engraving and created a suite of engravings titled Spring Holocaust Theme. In 1944, while in exile in Russia, Goldberg began making an effort to document what he heard. He returned to Poland with his wife and son, Victor, and began to create over 150 works of art dealing with the Holocaust, many of which are in the permanent collection of several museums, namely the Spertus Institute for Jewish Learning and Leadership in Chicago. Third shtetl period. In 1987, while working on the Holocaust theme, Goldberg returned to painting his beloved Kazimierz Dolny and the Jewish life in the village. This time his paintings were less lyrical and surreal, and instead were more storytelling and documentary. After completing some 50 large canvases in 1997, at the age of 80, he was diagnosed with a disabling illness. He died on June 26, 2004 in Boca Raton, Florida. Exhibitions. 1931, Polish Landscapes, Group Show, Kazimierz Dolny, Poland. 1934 Studio Show, Kazimierz Dolny, Poland. 1936 National Group Show, Warsaw, Poland. 1937 National Group Show, Warsaw, Poland. 1946 Poland after World War II Solo Show, Szczecin, Poland. 1947 National Group Show, Warsaw, Poland. 1949 National Group Show, Warsaw, Poland. 1950 National Group Show, Warsaw, Poland. 1951 National Group Show, Warsaw, Poland. 1952 National Group Show, Warsaw, Poland. 1965 One-Man Show, Pioneer House, Givatayim, Israel. 1966 Retrospective Show, Museum Yad Labanim, Petah Tikva, Israel. 1967 One-Man Show, Liz Gallery, New York. 1968 One-Man Show, Theodore Herzl Institute, New York City, New York. 1968 One-Man Show, Mixed Media Art Center, Syracuse, New York. 1969 One-Man Show, Paul Kessler Art Gallery, Provincetown, Massachusetts. 1971 Man Show, Paul Kessler Art Gallery, Provincetown, Massachusetts. 1971 Large Retrospective Exhibit at the DeAndres Gallery, St. John's University, Queens, New York. 1972 One-Man Show, Mixed Media, Lincoln Mall Art Center, Miami, Florida. 1972 Group Show, Mixed Media, American Congress, Washington, D.C. 1973 One-Man Show, Chaim Goldberg's Shtetl, Smithsonian Institution, Hall of Graphic Arts, Washington, D.C. 1973 Group Exhibit Jewish Motifs and Culture of the 20th Century, Klingspor Museum, Offenbach, Germany. 1974 One-Man Show, the Avila Art Center, Jewish Synagogue, Caracas, Venezuela. 1977 Group Show with the Texas Society of Sculptors, Houston Public Library, Main Branch, Houston, Texas. 1979 One-Man Show, Museum of Printing History, Houston, Texas. 1982 Group Exhibit Art of the 20th Century, A Revelation, Congregation Beth Israel, Houston, Texas. 1985 Group Exhibit 26th Invitational, Longview Museum of Art, Longview, Texas. 1994 Group Exhibit Shtetl Life, the Nathan and Faye Hurwitz Collection, a Magnus Collection of Jewish Art and Life, Berkeley, California. Goldberg's Marketplace, a hand-colored litho was on the cover of the exhibit catalog. 1997 One-Man Exhibit Chaim Goldberg at 80, Nathan B. E. Rosen Museum, Adolf and Amp Rose Levi's Jewish Community Center, Boca Raton, Florida. 1997 one-man exhibit, remembering the shtetl 75 years of the art of Chaim Goldberg, Texas Union Art Gallery, University of Texas at Austin. 2002 one-man exhibit, oil paintings of the shtetl, Art Gallery, Southfield, Michigan. 2003 one-man exhibit, landscapes and observations, Art Gallery, Southfield, Michigan. 2004 one-man exhibit, engravings and lithos, Art Gallery, Southfield, Michigan. 2009 one-man exhibit, remembering the shtetl, National Bottle Museum, Ballston Spa, New York. 2013 one-man show of over 160 drawings, watercolors and oil paintings from 1946 to 2000. Chaim Goldberg returns to Kazimierz Dolny Museum, Nadwislansky, Kazimierz Dolny, Poland. 2015 one-man show of drawings and paintings, KAMINICACELEJOWSK at 11 Grania 2015 to 3 Kwartnia 2016. Museum Nadwislansky, Kazimierz Dolny, Poland. Collections: Metropolitan Museum of Art, 20th Century Permanent Art Collection, New York City, New York. Museum of Modern Art, New York City, New York. President's House, Jerusalem, Israel. Museum Yad Vashem, Jerusalem, Israel. City of Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Israel. Museum Yad Lebanim, Petah Tikva, Israel. Musée du Petit Palais, Geneva, Switzerland. National Museum, Warsaw, Poland. Jewish Museum, Warsaw, Poland. Klingspor Museum, Offenbach, Germany. National Gallery of Art, Lessing Rosenwald Collection, Washington, D.C. National Gallery of Art, Washington, D.C. Smithsonian Institution, American Art Museum and Renwick Gallery Collection, Washington, D.C. Philadelphia Museum of Art, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Low Art Museum, Miami, Florida. Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, Massachusetts. Yale University Art Gallery, New Haven, Connecticut. Sylvia Plotkin Judaica Museum, Phoenix, Arizona. Public Library Art Collection, San Francisco, California. New York Public Library, New York City, New York. Wadsworth Atheneum, Hartford, Connecticut. Springfield Museum of Art, Springfield, Massachusetts. Museum of Fine Arts, Houston, Houston, Texas. Houston Public Library, Houston, Texas. Spertus Institute for Jewish Learning and Leadership, Chicago, Illinois. Judah L. Magnus Museum, Berkeley, California. Skirball Museum, Los Angeles, California. Yeshiva University Museum, New York City, New York. YIVO, New York City, New York. Jewish Theological Seminary, Cincinnati, Ohio. Dafna Judaica Museum, in the Jacob Reingold Pavilion, Riverdale, NY. Museum Nadwislansky, Kazimierz Dolny, Poland. List of Kazimierz Dolny artists. The artists who frequented the Kazimierz Dolny art colony were many. Some of the Jewish artists were Morrissey Applebaum, Eugenia Sakt, Joseph Bedur, Henrik Barsinski, Adolf Behrman, Henrik Berlewy, Salomon Bialogorski, Arnold Blaufax, Saza Blonda, Itzhak Wincenti Brauner, Aniela Kakia, Benzion Kakierman, Samuel Sigler, Herschel Seiner, Henrik Seitron, Jakob Seitron, Rachel Diamond, Boaz Dullman, Samuel Finkelstein, Abraham Friedman, Felix Friedman, Joseph Mojzes Gabovich, Isidor Goldberg, Dorad Griefenberg, Mitchell Grush, Isaac Grosendler, Chaim Hanf, Adam Herzoft, Elzbieta Hurstspurs-Anker, Ignacy Hirschfang, Gisela Hufnagel, Marcin Kitz, Nathan Korzen, Joseph Kona, Simon Kratka, Isaac Krichanovsky, Chaim Lajzer, Natalia Landau, Henrik Lewenstadt, Mary Litauer, Joseph Majsels, Aria Mertzer, Stella Amelia Miller, Morris E. Minkowski, Abraham Neumann, Sedlomo Nussbaum, Abraham Ostrazeger, Samuel Putman, Henrik Rabinovich, Stanislaw Riker, Bernard Rolnicki, Roman Rosenthal, Mojzes Renecki, the Seidenbutel brothers, Ephraim Seidenbutel, Joseph Seidenbutel, Menashe Seidenbutel, Ephraim Anam, Jela Sexton, Marcelli Slodky, Arya Spersky, Marek Sapiro, Nathan Spiegel, Joseph Tom, Felix Topolsky, Simcha Traktner, Morrissey Trabakas, Tadeusz Trabakas, Israel Tykosinski, Jakob Wanels, Vladislav Weintraub, Israel Sedmul Wodnicki, Pinkas Selman, Isaac Zajdler, Leon Zeisberg, Fizzle Zalberberg. Bibliography of articles. Aloisio, Julie. Chaim Goldberg's Art Celebrates Life. The Villager, 1988, Miami, FL. Aliagan, Ofra. Chaim Goldberg the Artist, Life and Problems, July 1966, Paris, France. Amazalag, Giselle. A Visit with the Artist Chaim Goldberg, Dimensions Magazine, February, March 1997, Boca Raton, FL. Avada, Tamer. Chaim Goldberg Does Not Forget, Davahashavua, 1965. Tel Aviv, Israel. Chir Miriam, Chaim Goldberg, painter and sculptor, L'Information d'Israel, February 1965, Tel Aviv, Israel. Diamondstein, Barbara, Chaim Goldberg, From Exile to Genius, Art and Amp, Antiques Magazine, June 2002, USA. Dolben, B. F. Chaim Goldberg, The Shalom Aleichem of the Arts, Ortland, July 1967, New York, New York. Deluznovsky Donauer M. Important exhibit of Chaim Goldberg. The Forward, 1967, New York, New York. Deluznovsky Donauer M. The painter and sculptor Chaim Goldberg, Culture and Life, Polish language publication, 1967, New York, New York. Evrim and Saint, Chaim Goldberg, Le Courrier des Arts, June 29, 1967, New York, New York. Frank M. Chaim Goldberg in the Smithsonian National Museum. The Forward, April 1973, New York, New York. Friedman, Susanna, A Visit with Chaim Goldberg. The Bulletin, American Jewish Libraries, 1978. Kantz, Shimon, The Artist Chaim Goldberg, Yiddish Schriften, October 1954, Warsaw, Poland. Hall, D. Goldberg at the Caravan Park East, November 1, 1973, New York, New York. Kiel, C. The Dynamic Jewish Artist Chaim Goldberg. The Forward, 1987, New York, New York. Luden, Itzhak, Chaim Goldberg in the Smithsonian National Museum. The Forward, April 1973, New York, New York. Masny, P. Proud Moment, The Long Island Press, March 31, 1971, NY. Paris, J. Chaim Goldberg to exhibit art. The Long Island Press, March 28, 1971, NY. Paris, J. Exhibit AIDS Council Reach a Goal. The Long Island Press, April 5, 1971, NY. Robic Kazimierz, I Left My Heart There, Gazeta Antiquariczna, Part 1 of 3, October 2000, Kraków, Poland. Robic Kazimierz, I Left My Heart There, Gazeta Antiquariczna, Part 2 of 3, November 2000, Kraków, Poland. Robig Kazimierz, I left my heart there. Gazeta Antiquariczna, Part 3 of 3, December 2000. Kraków, Poland. Robig Kazimierz, Kazimierz in Chaim Goldberg's painting, Spotkania z Zabytkami, Volume 3, March 2008. 12–15. Warsaw, Poland. Rogers, M. Goldberg pursues new directions. Houston Chronicle, October 12, 1977. Houston, TX. Samuels, J., an artist, and his wife, Samsud Hawk, Kathleen, Chaim Goldberg. Scott Paul, Chaim Goldberg, an artist reborn. Shiri, David, Chaim Goldberg's art shown in Queens. Shmulevitz, I. The exhibit of the artist Chaim Goldberg. Schneiderman, Emil. The art of Chaim Goldberg. Schneiderman, Emil. Chaim Goldberg's art on exhibit in Queens. Steingart, T. An exhibition of paintings by Chaim Goldberg. Tauber, H. The Lost World recaptured in art. Tenenbaum, Shay. Chaim Goldberg, the artist from Kazimierz Dolny. Tenenbaum, Shay. Chaim Goldberg's Jews Live Forever. The Forward, Chaim Goldberg's art exhibited at the Herzl Institute. The Forward, Liveik House in Tel Aviv receives gift from acknowledged artist Chaim Goldberg. The Buffalo Jewish Review, the artist Goldberg exhibits. The Houston Chronicle, Central Library to unveil a new Goldberg sculpture. Weissman, Gabriel, the artist Chaim Goldberg. Weissman, Gabriel, the artist Chaim Goldberg. Zonsheim, Jacob, the prolific artist. Catalogs Raisonné Series. Volume No. 1 Chaim Goldberg's Shtetl. The Drawings. Series name. Volume No. 9 Chaim Goldberg's Dance. Series name. Volume No. 10 Chaim Goldberg's Israeli Landscapes. Series name. Volume No. 11 Chaim Goldberg's American Landscapes and Florals. Series name. Illustrated books. Friedlander, Albert. Out of the Whirlwind. UAHC Press. 1999. ISBN 0807407038. Roseman, Kenneth. Until the Messiah Comes. Do-It-Yourself Jewish Adventure Series. ISBN 0807407062. Front cover illustration. Detail from his painting titled Marketplace. Schneiderman, Shamuel Leib. The River Remembers. R. Publishes. 1970. OCLC number 19,302,464. Translated into English as The River Remembers. Created earlier as separate editions. Published in 1973 to commemorate Chaim Goldberg's one-man show at the Smithsonian's newly inaugurated Hall of Graphic Arts. Portfolio was published by Shalom Goldberg, the artist's son. It consists of the 10 works of art held by a double-folded sheet of same arches paper and protective glassine sheet, and 2 original drawings. The edition size was 10 portfolios with 10 impressions each. Each impression was printed by hand by the artist in his New York studio in Queens, using a Rembrandt etching press. The impressions are done in a variety of ink colors, ranging from lamp black to cerulean blue mixed with Prussian blue and a variety of sepia shades. Each edition from which the 10 identically numbered sets were pulled were executed in editions of 200 signed and numbered impressions, thus making the portfolio extremely rare. On top of the rarity by the small set of 10, each portfolio cover sheet includes 2 original illustrations in pen and ink by Chaim Goldberg. Included in each portfolio set are the following works: Dreamer, line engraving, To the Unknown, intaglio, The Blacksmith, intaglio, Moving Day, intaglio, 2 Hasidic Dancers, etching, 7 Hasidic Dancers, etching, The Cheddar, intaglio, Duet, intaglio, Purim, intaglio, The Horror, intaglio. Additional reading. The official website of the artist Chaim Goldberg. Book, Polish engravers, Chaim Goldberg, Sofia Albinowska Minkovichwa, CZEs. OS, Anya, Raphael Kleweta, Joseph Hecht, Krzysztof Lubianiecki, published by General Books LLC, 1983. Book, in Kazimierz the Vistula River spoke to them in Yiddish. Jewish painters in the art colony of Kazimierz Dolny, by Dr. Waldemar Odorowski, published by Museum Nadwislansky, Kazimierz Dolny, Poland, 2008. Article, New York Times, by David Shigeru, March 19, 1971. Art Namp, Reviews Sect.